Topping the news at 5:30 just today, a roadway contractor was hit on a New York State road in the Binghamton area and was sent to the hospital. She is expected to be okay, but it is a reminder to watch out for crews on our state highways. And one tool the state is using to get drivers to pay attention is issuing automated speeding tickets. Ryan Whalen with the New York State Department of Transportation is here to remind drivers about this and then the importance of safety on our highways. Ryan, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Kelsey, thanks for having me here.
All right, let's first just talk about where those speed cameras can be found in our community this week. And they are constantly moving around, and it's not just here in Western New York, but all over the state.
Yeah, so this is a program that was originally put into law in 2021. They put the speed zone cameras into place in 2023, and for the last 2 years or so, they've been moving them all over different parts of the state in New York State maintained roads. So there's 30 different units. They're not always all out at the same time, but we try to be very transparent about where they are, and so we'll keep it up to date on the state's website. And for this week of the 26th, which is going on right now through November 1st, there's 3 in this viewing area where you may see the automated speed zone work cameras. That's on the Route 400 between Seneca and Union Road, along the Kensington Expressway over William Gator Parkway, and then in the Chautauqua Lake Bridge in the Chautauqua area.
And then people will see signs. There will be a sign that says, you know, there is some sort of speed camera that is issuing tickets. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's one of the rules here. And it's one of those things where we're trying to tell people, look, this isn't a money grab. This isn't a gotcha. This is about safety. And so we want you to know that they're there. We want you to see it so that you do the things to make our employers safer. And so one of the rules is that they can only have the work zone speed cameras in an active work zone where we have workers on site. Otherwise, it won't be turned on. Yeah. There's also appropriate signage all the way up to the work zone, including signage that says this is a work zone camera enforced area. So if you're paying attention, you should know that you're coming up to this.
Okay, got it. And that's the important thing, paying attention on our roads, because that's what leads to these horrible tragedies across our state freeways. Will you explain, you know, some of the tragedies that you have seen involving, you know, state crews?
Yeah, look, I came in and started at this position in May, and just in that short amount of time that I've been working here, we just see this way too often. We have already had one of our employees in the Albany area killed from a collision in a work zone this year. We've had multiple occasions where we've seen either our employees or contractors hit or near misses because people aren't paying attention or they're driving too fast. And look, some of the cases, there's going to be medical emergencies. There's an inherent danger with working on the side of a road where people are going 50 miles an hour or 65 miles an hour. But in way too many of these cases, it's just people not paying attention, whether they're on their phone or they're driving too fast. And that's completely avoidable. And that's the message that we're trying to drive home.
The move over law, that includes New York State Police. If they're pulling someone over, you have to move over a lane. Does that include crews as well working on the roadways? Yeah,
that's an important thing to know. Where this started with emergency vehicles and first responders, it applies to everybody in New York State. When you see a car on the side of the road now, you are required to move over if you can. So, you know, we say it's 3 parts, right? The first is to be alert, because you can't move over if you don't see that car on the side of the road. So that means don't be on your cell phone if you're on a state highway.
Or if you're behind the wheel at all.
Or if you're behind the wheel at all, right?
Yeah.
The second is to slow down, because that's one of the best ways to avoid, you know, a big crash is to start slowing your car down before you get to the work zone. And then move over when you can. There's going to be some scenarios where you can't get over that lane because there's too much traffic or it's not safe for you to do that. And we don't expect you to do that if that's the case. But when you can, move over.
And just slowing down, huge.
Slowing down is huge.
Especially if you can't move over. You gave me some stats. In 2024, there were 450 work zone accidents on New York State maintained roads, and that included 4 fatalities. And then again in May, you lost a coworker, really. Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear this. Anything else that you want to give to our viewers as just a caution here?
Yeah, this is a message that we always try to drive home, from our commissioner all the way down to the people who just got hired this week. We say safety is the #1 priority. We are driving it home To our employees, we have workplace safety meetings twice a year in the fall and in the spring at every residency across the state. And all of our employees know all the ways that they need to make sure that they are making sure they get home safe to their families. But they're only half of the equation, right? And the other half are the people that are driving on the road. And you have to remember, these are mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers. They need to be able to get home to their families safe at the end of the day. And driving safe is the best way you can help them do that.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.